Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 547, and today we're playing Backpack Battles. And so, we finished our intro series into Backpack Battles. We've done the intro to the game, we've covered off on each of the classes, and now we have about 2.5 weeks before the Legends of Runeterra expansion and rotation happens, and so we're going to climb as high as we can in Backpack Battles before we take a pivot over to LOR and give that a new time to shine in the post PvP is dead era. But nonetheless, today we're going to be doing battle with the Berserker, see if we can't pull down a W. So let's dive on in. And so, as far as the game has gone to this point, I don't really like hard forcing any strategies. It's something that I feel like you can do. There are things that are strong enough and on meta enough to where you just chase down the one meta build game after game after game. But I tend to try and stay a little bit more flexible in what we're doing in the early game and the mid game, and just try to piece together what we can and what's going to synergize the most with the subclass offerings in the middle of the game. And so here, a reasonable enough start. I do like having a bit of economy. The piggy bank does let us do that. I'm more than happy to dive into the kind of gemstone build early. Having this on sale is something I'm actually quite excited about. I don't really like the whetstone with the Berserker. You don't tend to build whetstone style items like build with the hero sword kind of things, but it's something that could potentially be on the table. And since it's on sale, it's something that we can just sell for free. And so let's go ahead and get a bit of a start here. We'll take the piggy bank, the box of riches, and the whetstone. I don't really like gooberts, and I don't want to pan if it's not on sale. As far as the Berserker goes, you can look to go towards the various cheese builds. That is the faction specific food within the Berserker. It is fairly strong. If you're not running a scaling comp into a cheese build, they're just going to outscale you and you'll never deal enough damage, but it's not a build that I particularly enjoy myself. But reasonable enough start here. Not too strong in terms of what we're getting done in the early game, but hopefully this will be reasonable enough for the first round, and then we can start scaling up with the box of riches and see what falls to us. All right, much more aggressive start coming out of the Ranger. They're going to run out of stamina, but I don't think we can kill them before that's going to be relevant. Oop, got zinged. Not really surprised. That's okay, though. We're getting at least a bit of direction in our start here. And so, nothing too great in the early game piece here. I would like to get, something more attacky. The Forging Hammer doesn't use any stamina, so we're free to just kind of load up any weapon that appears, and we're going to be okay in terms of how the stamina goes. Nothing on sale, which kind of sucks here at the beginning. I do like bananas in the early game, recovering the stamina and healing a little bit, and I'm not opposed to picking up the Flawed Ruby. I don't tend to go towards vampiric builds within the Berserker, but it's very easy to get stacked up on socketed things, and just having stuff to fill the sockets is kind of nice. But I'm going to take a roll, see if we can't find something a little bit better. Kind of another crappy start. Nothing on sale. The broom is okay. I feel like we want to pick up something before we roll into the next round, and see if we can't perhaps get something to merge this with. Nothing turned up. Kind of crappy. kind of crappy, not gonna lie, but I think we can still make this work. And so I'm tempted to just sell the chipped sapphire. It's okay. I do like the mana gain that you get out of the chipped sapphires, since it can be tough to find if you don't have that one magic orb. But I don't tend to build a lot towards the mana items. Like the Berserker itself isn't a mana intensive type unit, right? If we pull up what you can see, there's just nothing really within the Berserker class that pays off for mana. Just the one kind of build around item that just heals and gains mana. There's no real good ways to spend it, and so it's kind of a bummer for this class. I think I convinced myself. Let's just go ahead and sell it. I am kind of interested in this healing herb. Get the 4th health regen right at the start. Another stack for our piggy bank, and then hopefully we can find something a little more useful as the rounds go on. The weapons have been crappy. None of the craftable armors turned up, and so kind of a pain point here in the early game. Let's see, the Reaper is going to start scaling that poison if we don't kill him quick. That's not what we're really looking to fight with our 4 health regen start going up against a bunch of poison. But we made it. We managed. We survived. Always glad to take a bag. An on-sale banana, sure, we can pick that up. Again, we still need to find like another weapon or something. And the things that I tend to look for with a Box of Riches start are going to be... like the big things, building up to the busted blade or building up to the double axe, and then going for the runes build. Now, it's not something you have to do. Like, I don't want to, pigeonhole myself into that just because we found a Box of Riches early, but that's what I'm typically pushing myself towards. And if you're building with those big items, then you just don't need things like the wooden sword or whatever you can get out of a broom. And so it's kind of a pain point with how this is starting. I guess we can still just pick up the hero sword. We can regenerate a little bit of stamina with the banana. That's kind of nice. We'll put the chipped ruby into the hammer since it gets to attack all of the time. Make sure our pig is looking good. Okay, reasonable enough bag. Still kind of crappy start, but making the most of it. Alright, I don't think the Pyromancer is going to be able to outscale our heal. We haven't even gotten to the battle rage yet, and we're about to take him down. Good stuff there. We hit him before they got their power spike. Their hero sword hadn't upgraded yet. And okay, another Box of Riches. Like, I'm fine to just go in with the Box of Riches weapon enhancement thing. So let's go ahead and snatch that up. That's going to be our kind of big build around aspect here. Now, as far as the remainder of this goes, like the 1 garlic is fine. I'm okay to pick up the banana as well. It gives us this kind of like nice food bridge into the mid game so we can kind of figure out what we want to do. The question to me is, do we want to hang on to the wooden sword and the whetstone? And I don't think we do. Like, we haven't really found anything to kind of push us towards those builds. So I'll just go ahead and get rid of that. Last but not least, I do want to pick up this last banana so that we can just get that health and that stamina regen throughout the game here. Do need to do a little bit of work with these bags. It's not certain we're gonna get this to fit how we want. The broom is a little bit awkward. We're gonna have 4 spaces left over. That would be enough for like 1 banana and a garlic. If we get rid of the whetstone, I think we can make this work. You gotta hit that curve on the banana, and that can be a touch awkward. I think we can do it like this, maybe. I'll figure it out. It just take me a hot second. All right, there we go. Now it's starting to come together, I think. We got the banana in. And move over 1 more hex. That's going to do it. That's going to get us where we want to go. Now we got the food upgrades onto our pan. Can get our gemstones back out here. Looks good for the next round. You could probably rearrange this to, well, nothing left. There's no other start of battle things for the pig. So I think we're okay there. And so what I will say with this is a fairly rough early game. I wouldn't expect to win too many of these early rounds, right? We have kind of scaling / economy stuff in the Box of Riches. We're building into the shovel right now, which is another economy-based item. And, I feel like any of these early rounds we win are pretty lucky for us. And so taking down the Ranger there was kind of nice as well. And so it's kind of, doubled up on us here in the sense that we had a not great start in terms of the items that have been shown to us. And then we're also building a very economy, greed heavy type start as well. So here the hammer has turned up. I do think the hammer is okay in these type of builds. I will actually use the Pyromancer with the style of build with the hammer to where we take the double gemstones and get the hammer and then load up with a bunch of daggers. The other thing with going towards a hammer build is instead of going towards the rune thing, where are we at? Let's just get this down to class items. Instead of going for the rune thing, the wolf emblem, we could switch over to going for brass knuckles. which is another stun item. So we have the 2 stun items between the hammer and the brass knuckles. That makes our daggers exceptionally good. The downside with this, and I think we covered off on this in our intro to the Berserker video, is we've seen 0 daggers up to this point. And so if we run the hammer and the brass knuckles with no daggers, you're really like limited. You really want to have like 3 and 4 and 5 daggers. And then the way that kind of ties in with this build is you do get to stack the gems into the daggers and get those on hit effects over and over and over again. And so it's kind of tough. I had in my head that I was kind of leaning towards, it's not the wolf emblem, it's the shaman mask is the one that offers up the runes. And so like it's tough for me to kind of decide how we want to go. The hammer, you know, if it costs like 4 gold, it wouldn't be that bad. But I feel like if we're going to pick up the hammer now, we just have to go ahead and get rid of the shovel, and we have to get rid of the whetstone. And if we end up selling the hammer to pick up like the gigantic sword, it does leave us in a bit of a pain point. But let's go for it. Why not? So we're going to sell the shovel. I'm just going to go ahead and get the whetstone out of here. We could look to just blow up the piggy bank. I don't think I'm amped about that idea at the moment. So let's take a roll, see if we can't get a dagger to turn up. Nothing so far. Don't really want the regular rubies at this point. We'll just generate our own gems. We'll do one more roll. Nothing turned up. We did get another bag, which is kind of nice with the hammers, but not exactly what I was looking for here. Now, can we make this work? We got to pull everything out, rearrange our foods again, and we're also going to want our hammer in the duffel bag so that it gets the faster activations. So we could do something like this. Now we have both of our attacky things within the duffel bag. And we can make a more appropriate space for our foods up here. I guess we've got a lot of bag space here, so why not just toss the garlic in with it? That could be the key to the game, getting that garlic activation. All right, we'll leave poison on the hammer. We'll leave the sapphire out in the backpack. Let's jump into the next round. So at least we have some direction. I feel like that was a nice little pivot. You know, I think the risk-reward avenue here of taking the hammer isn't that bad. Again, if we have to sell it and then pick up a like oversized sword, whatever that thing is called, I think it's okay. It just really sucks to lose out on that 4 gold. It's a fairly big chunk of health that we're losing on there. All right. Took down another barbarian, and man, just garbage after garbage. It's nonstop. Oh shit, we blew up our pig. I'm exceptionally bad about doing this with the hammer and the pig. We do get the coins, that's kind of nice, but not what my intent was. I do like the heroic potions, either way that we run through this. So I want to pick that one up. I'm not opposed to the potion belt. If we do want to stack a bunch of heroic potions. It's just the downside with this is we have a lot of bag space right now, right? We're at like 5 slots, and then picking this up really limits what we're able to fit. But as things turn up, like the leather armor, we do need that extra space to fit it. But I am going to go ahead and do the reserve on the leather. The leather converts into the dragon scale, and this has 2 sockets in it, and so it gives us a lot of space to include these gems that we're generating. All right, so let's keep rearranging. I'm gonna convert our potion into the mega potion, so we need to get the banana up there on the top. We can move our onion back into the middle here. All right, we're gonna call that good enough. So let's get these gems upgrading. Got a couple others just hanging out. I think that's okay. This is a quick update here. It's like, it's so tough for me with this game to like want to min-max everything, but then also know that we're just going to throw away this board one turn later. And so it's easy enough to just shift down and push the garlic in. Here we go. We can get these other items within our bag, so if we battle rage, they'll get the bonuses. Alright, so I'm not quite certain if we'll be able to outdo. Seems like the opponent's kind of struggling to fight through our health regeneration. They don't really have any scaling here. They have a bit of heat generation on their swords. Oh, there it goes. I spoke too soon. Their heat really started to kick in there at the end. Womp womp. Okay, though, we got our heroic potion. We'll pick up the armor. Again, the thing that's a real bummer for our build at this point is we aren't, we haven't found any daggers, right? I think we can get through this with just some board rotation. I need to get our we need to get our armor up by the hammer. All right, so making moves there. That looks reasonable. Okay, so we've got that far in. I do like picking up the one cost gems. They just upgrade, and then we can get we can just sell them back for the same price if need be. Now we found our first, piece of the puzzle here. If we want to pick up the axe and try and build towards the double axe, what is the rank on it? Right, this is a fairly strong thing. When you hit Battle Rage, gets the extra attacks, does extra damage. I believe it has 5 slots in it. I typically prefer with the gemstone build to be building towards the busted blade. It's very easy to pick up the empowered, because the empowered is something that we get off of the yellow potions. Hang on, I got a cat just going on over here. Oh man, it's Pepper. Here we go. This is what everybody wants. The busted blade, the busted pepper, cracked pepper, if you will. And she just jumps right down. But it's tough for me to decide if we want to go for the double axe. Because again, it's like a fairly heavy investment in terms of the resources. But I think it's probably safe to do. It is nice having the hammer, but at this point we've got 0 daggers. And like, how many opportunities are we really going to have to get daggers the rest of the way? Like, I think it's fine to just pivot out. So I'm just going to go ahead and sell the hammer. I assure you, on our next on our next round of the shop, there's going to be a dagger in there. Can we make this work? Okay, that's close enough. Wanted to get the axe within the bag. Now the question is, do we want to pick up the stamina sack? It's not a huge investment. We can just sell one of these health regen things and get that to fit. I think that's probably okay. All right, we can drop some attack speed into the axe. Gonna move the life steal, or move the frost. Well, I think it's okay to put the frostbite in here. It's just the armor on these aren't very good, right? We're not out here gaining a ton of mana. Our healing doesn't matter. We don't have any healing at this point. The chance to resist poison, I guess that's the best option we have here. We can stack both of these in, but it's not super ideal. I guess we'll do it like this. We'll just put the life steal into the axe and then upgrade the topazes on their own. All right, rough. Speaking of the kitties, I got another kitty. I had to take the one. We got 3 cats, right? We got Pepper. She shows up all the time. There's Bernard. He's the black one that turns up on occasion. He's dumb and overweight and stuff. And then I have a third one, Tyrone. She doesn't like to appear in the videos. She's the one that it's been a while since it's happened, but if you hear me in the video bitching about a cat trying to sit on my feet, that's Tyrone. She's the one that's always trying to do that. But I had to take her to the vet today. She's been weird. I think she has an ear infection or something. She had some kind of like crusty shit on her ear, and she typically, like, the way the morning happens is like I wake up and then I go and drink some pre-workout, and then I feed the cats, and so they all just kind of converge since they know the food bowl's about to fill up. And she hadn't been converging either. She hadn't been hanging out as much. So I think she got a little sickness or an ear infection or something, and she's fucking old as it is. She's 11, and so I'm sure she's fine. I'm sure she's doing okay over there, but uh, that's the life of the kitties, I guess. But all right, moving on. We're going to be taking the runes, the shaman mask, right? We passed on the hammer. We gave up on the brass knuckles. We just didn't find any daggers, and it just is what it is. So we'll come over, we'll pick up the shaman. This is fine, right? There's runes offered in the shop. If you're not familiar, they're kind of socketed items that go within our or they're gemstones that go in our sockets, and then at the start of the battle we gain 1 luck for each socketed gemstone. So with all of our sockets we're going to get a bunch of luck, and then we can use 2 luck to gain 5 random buffs. And so it's a nice little collection of synergies that we'll be getting out here, and everything will stay socketed since we just have all this crap out and about, hanging about. Even if it's just a chipped one, we have enough to load up our items. Right one? Okay, shaman mask. I was afraid I picked the wrong one. But that's fine. I'm usually okay with spiked collars. Your battle rage lasts 2 seconds longer. It seems like a reasonable deal to me. We have an on sale health potion over here. I'm not amped about it, but I'm gonna just go ahead and go for it. We have the we have the healing herbs that I would like to go ahead and use as well, and so that'll kind of solve that problem a little bit. Gives us a little bit of incidental stamina since it can soak up the strong heroic potion, but not exactly how we want that to be looking. All right, we got our foods over there. We got our spiked collar. Let's load up our equipments the best that we can. So we're going to be putting these purples into our armor where we can. And then otherwise, let's load up our weapons with the better items. That's the way I typically look at these. Just put the strongest gems you have in your weapons. You know, it may not be the best strategy, but it is a strategy, and that's that's the one that we're out here using today. All right, let's spend the rest of this money, I guess. 1 mana or 1 gold item and a on sale item we can fill things out with. Look at this guy getting multiples of the craftables. I wonder what that feels like. I wonder. Yeah, as this battle happens, I briefly mentioned Runeterra a few videos ago. I don't feel like anyone caught it. None of you astute viewers were listening to the whole video, and so I think it'll be a little bit more visible with this one. That is the plan. Is I've been kind of itching to play Runeterra, and I know the rotation and the new set come out towards the end of April. I think it's like April 24th or so. But I think they're sticking to that 3-month rotation thing. And without things like open, I can't just play standard all the time. And so my intent is I still want to keep up with playing the kind of variety games, but I think we'll end up playing like a month of constructed, a month of path, and then a month of variety. Or if path doesn't hold our attention long enough, then we'll just kind of swap that out for other variety stuff. But I would like to kind of maintain about a month of constructed in Runeterra as the new sets come out and stuff. But Riot, I'll make a longer in-depth thing on it, but Riot has kind of lost my faith, right? You kind of have a coexistence agreement in that they're going to continue to produce the game up to a certain degree and level, and they've kind of shattered that trust multiple times. And so I'm a little worried about actually diving back in, but I miss the game a lot. It's so fucking fun, and so it's kind of tough, but nonetheless, we'll see how it goes. Let's get back to backpack battles where we're at here. And so the runes have started to turn up, right? The Hawk rune here is fine. Increasing your critical hit chance is good. Critical hit damage is good. We'll pick it up. We are going to start to fill out our board a little bit here. I think we can still pick up the chipped ruby. We can just sell it if we don't want it. Again, we're looking for axes. We need a second axe. We can go for the big sword thing if it turns itself up, and then we just want armors that we can put sockets into. Just not turning up today though. Give it one more roll. Nothing, man. All right, well, I guess we can upgrade some of these gems. I know we've got 2 rubies hanging out here. We've got 2 topazes hanging out as well. think we would rather go ahead and just upgrade the topazes. Maybe we sell the walrus tusk so that we can just continue to get more upgrades. I do want to put the hawk thing. I think we can swap like this. We'll put the hawk thing in our biggest bruiserest weapon. It'll maintain the poison thing on our other one. It's not that exciting, but I would rather be hitting poisons than getting lifesteal or doing the mana thing. And otherwise, attack speed is always kind of okay. Cleanse a debuff is reasonable just to be hanging out in the backpack. Alright, start that battle. Such a low roll. Now this is it's kind of an interesting thing with this game. I'm not entirely certain how the shops work. If you think back to playing Expedition in Legends of Runeterra, there was a bit of finagling to how the packs that you were shown worked, right? It wasn't like drafting Magic to where everyone at the table opens a pack. You open your pack, you take one card, you pass it, and then you get the pack that was passed to you. You take one card and go in a circle. Like it wasn't completely random like that. It would look at the contents of your deck, look at the contents of your factions, and then try and suggest certain packs to you throughout the course of the way. So if you were heavily into one archetype, about half the time you would be shown packs that were similar to that archetype. And it feels like a similar thing happens within backpack battles. A lot of the shops that you were shown do tie in to the thing that you're currently out here building, but I haven't figured out if that's true. Like I haven't delved enough into Reddit posts or whatever to see if that's a thing, or like how to manipulate it, right? I certainly don't know how to manipulate it if I don't even know it exists or not. And so it feels like something's there. So like as we were, searching for armors and searching for daggers and stuff, I'm not certain if I've just fucked up something along the way, like taking these box of riches may have messed something up. And so that's something that I'll have to kind of figure out in our time with the backpack battles. Nonetheless, we got an elephant up here. Very strong, chance to stun on hit. I'm going to snatch that one up most certainly. As far as these others go, it's a decent price for the Flawed Emerald at 2. I guess we'll snatch it up. I don't really want the Cap of Resilience though. The cheese making its way in. Alright, but we will get this this potion. There it is. Finally, the great sword turns up. I didn't even see it, and so we'll have to purchase this. We'll have to make it fit. I honestly I saw the heroic potion and I was like, ooh, that's what I want. I like having heroic potions. I saw the cheese and I was thinking in my head how to talk about how we don't actually want it here, and I just completely missed that the sword was fucking there. And so let's see. I got excited and wanted to just start selling stuff. That's probably not the way to go about this. I think that we'll just reserve it for the next round. We're not going to sell 13 gold worth of things. So come in and upgrade some gems. Looking good. Getting a lot of upgrades happening up here. Poison on the hammer's fine. We got the big stack on the axe. What we're going to end up doing is, I think this is like a 5 stack or a 6 stack on the greatsword. We'll load up the runes, and then we'll start loading up the topazes to make it attack faster. But one thing at a time. Just double check. It says reserved. Okay, gotta stop and double check that reserve is there. It looks like we got 6 luck at the start, which will start converting into these other abilities. Slow battle. The fuck's this guy doing? He's got a shaman mask as well. Looks like he's trying to scale with the Goobert. Looks like he's probably going to get us here in fatigue. We're not doing enough damage. Close. Close at the end. But hopefully we'll start to pop off here. If you notice within these battles, we haven't been spending our heroic potions. Hopefully that's something that's going to fix itself now. Now that we've got just the giant axe. We're gonna have to rearrange a little bit. I do want the attack speed bag going onto our big ass sword. Getting close to making these fit. It'll have to be something like that. We could put our hammer up top. The hammer will then upgrade the greatsword into busted blade. There we go. Okay, I was like, that's not that was taking it a bit too long to update. I was getting a little worried in there, but why is it? It's weird. It's not like gold. It's typically gold whenever those upgrades are coming through. All right, let's see. Got a rune. Got a rune. Got a topaz. We're out of topazes now. If that's going to be the case, I guess we can put the poisons on it. Probably just want it to be lifesteal if we're going to be real. Give us a little bit more longevity in here. Do you have one more socket? Just 4. I swore it had more than that. All right, well, we're starting to get there. We have one more round until the great sword upgrades into the big blade, so it does take a bit of time to roll through. I'm still so concerned with this, right? If you look at our gems, you can see the gold lines between them. But as we take our, it says, you know, busted blade 1 of 1, but it doesn't have a golden line going across it, and it's a real pain point if we're not actually going to hit with this thing. But last but not least, I am going to reserve the dagger. We have the that chance of stun on the elephant rune, and so it does make me interested in picking up daggers again. They have those sockets in them as well, and so they're a good place to put the poisons, a good place to put the flawed sapphires that have those flat on hit effects. All right, we're starting to chug through the yellow potions now. That was my concern with this space. So that's happening. There we go. Look how impractically large that sword is. It's fucking gigantic. 6 slots. 6 slots at the end of the day. Cool. Cool. And so here we got another hawk rune. I like how we're getting to stack some of this stuff in. Just put the really strong things within the busted blade. After that, we want to get attack speed in it. Now we have one more attack speed. It's not a super strong one, but is what it is. And then we'll just put our strongest gems in there after the fact. Otherwise, I do want this dagger. Go ahead and snatch it down here at the bottom. The leather boots, I'm okay with. It does give us a bit of upgrade. It gives us a bit of sockets as well. I think we can fit it up at the top. Now we're starting to run out of space. All right, so that's kind of where we stand. Let's get one of these flat attack bonus things on our dagger. Might as well just go poison. That seems to be what we're doing. We have the regular emerald on the hammer. We'll just keep that kind of scaling stack going. And we'll just socket up our strongest items. Sure, seems okay. I thought we were going to have to sell the garlic this round, but it looks like we're fine. I wondered, I mean, would we rather have gloves of haste in here? It does upgrade off of the forging hammer, and then, you know, just putting it onto doing the absolute most you can to upgrade this busted blade feels like a win. Let's go for that. Sell the rocks. Got to get rid of one more gem, sure. But I'll go ahead and upgrade it first so that we can get it onto the busted blade after this round. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
There we go. Just get. I think I saw it come up with 176 crit. I saw the 93 at the end, but it felt like a fairly big one rolled through. Look at that. Did we just one-shot him? I'm not, yeah, the 179 crit was that was a pretty healthy chunk of damage to roll through. I thought we one-shot him there. It looked like it took him all the way down, but they must have had just enough to health through. Get boomed. Get boomed, my dude. All right, so now we can move the Dragon Claws down here to a space that will upgrade our big sword. All right, what do we got? A Hawk Rune, more crit? Sure. As well take another gem. I'm on board. Now, nothing too exciting here. As far as this goes for the rest of the way, I want more daggers. I'll take more socketed armors, and I want another heroic potion, or another yellow potion. Now, my thing with the yellow potions is, you know, you saw that massive crit that we just pulled off at the end, and that's kind of what we're going to be going for here with our big-ass sword, right? We've got the 3 separate Hawk runes on it, just going for that one gigantic crit, and so we're not really trying to extend and prolong out a battle, and so maybe we don't want more heroic potions, but I do like them in the sense that, you know, the Busted Blade deals 5 damage per empowered, and then the strong heroic potions do give you the empowered whenever they're consumed. And so they do have some synergies working together. All right, do we just start taking gem lamps? There's not a ton of other stuff that we're really looking for in this one. Maybe that's reasonable enough. You use the 7 armor, luck, thorns, and mana to give a weapon 27 damage. Just tie in more to that big gigantic critical hit. I think I'm okay. Everything's full. Sure. Locked the lamp onto battle. I think we'll be able to activate it, right? We have the... Right, we get that... We're at 12 luck now for the sockets, and then we pick up the random buffs. I don't know if we can get up to 7. Maybe we can get up to 7 of them. Or maybe we need more lamps or something. I don't know. I like where it's going. We're starting to tear through these combats. So we're going to take the lamp. Got another bag. We are starting to hurt in terms of bag space. Oop. Let's take a roll. I don't think we want to pick up the amethyst. I'd rather roll a little bit harder and see if we can't find just more runes. Alright, so can we upgrade any of these other little gems? We got a topaz. Sure. Uh-oh. Alright, that looks like the end of the upgrades. I think we got everything locked and loaded in here. The dagger's loaded. I keep wanting there to be one more space on the big sword, but it's not there. Alright, good to go. Not even close to being in the space to activate the lamp. But let's just continue on in survival mode. It seems like we might be, you know, strong enough to fight through. We've been just these final rounds of this battle have been pretty crushing, but there's also a pretty big increase in challenge once you hit this round when people have decided that they want to go for the big stuff. So here I'll pick up the elephant rune, another strong one. It's not bad to maybe just put on to the dagger itself, right? With the elephant runes, I think you would prefer to have them spread out. I'm not certain how they stack, right? But I think at the end of the day, we would probably want to just have our busted blade set up to deal damage, and then try and get these incremental values out of the other ones. So put the stun in the forging hammer, put the stun in the dagger. I think I'm on board with that. Here I'm going to start passing on these smaller gems. I'm not super interested. Here's another dagger, definitely interested in it. Need the bag space, that sounds good. And now we're at everyone's favorite part, to where you got to do a little bit more rearranging. So you can move this here. This will get the busted blade fitting in our bag with a little bit of additional attack speed. Is this just a 4 slot at the bottom? It is. Okay. We can come in and figure this out. We're going to have plenty of space to get this stuff going. Alright, so we're going to put the elephant rune. I think we want to like just elephant rune both of the daggers, right? That gives us a lot of opportunities for stuns. I guess the awkward thing with the elephant rune, I'm not like entirely certain how this mechanic works, but on stun it triggers an extra attack. I assume that you can't just go infinite off of one dagger, right? So we attack with the dagger, it stuns and then just re-attacks automatically. I don't think that that's the way that it works, but it would be sweet if it was. But at a bare minimum, now that we have 2 elephants, I do like to think that if, you know, dagger number 1 activates the stun, the second one gets the chance to strike, and then that free strike could potentially stun as well. And maybe get a big chain going out that way. So that seems like reasonable to me. I don't think that sounds like too crazy as something that could potentially be happening out here. All right, and we do have more boots if we want them. I guess we can take a reserve. Let's make this really big ruby. I think we can make the big ruby, but let's take it off of our attacky weapon here. Well, I definitely want the topaz in there. Okay, we can still reach this far from the armor into the busted blade. So that looks decent. Got a better poison thing onto the forging hammer. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting somewhere. Sure, that all seems reasonable. I wish I could tell a little easier if everything was already socketed, but I think we're loaded. Okay, reserve the boots, battle time. See how the first round of hard mode goes up against the giraffes with the deck of cards. Just waiting for that health bar to drop. Chunked him for 80. That's something, I guess. 188 to finish off the day. Boom. It feels good. It feels good. So, let's see here. We wanted these boots. I guess that'll be a thing. They can upgrade, give us a little bit more sockets, a little bit of bonus as the thing there hits. I don't usually like Cap of Resilience, but it does have a socket in it, so we'll go ahead and take it as well. Don't really want any of those holy items, and now getting into bag space, I think I'm on board with. We'll just sell the ruby, pick up the bag, the duffel, and now we do have the question of like, how do we want to go about the 4th potion? Like, I don't think we want divine potions. We're not going to be getting up to 20 debuffs in these battles, but I would rather have the divine potion than nothing. But we still have 3 rounds to go. We can give that a little bit of time. As far as these other things go, I would rather have gloves of haste as opposed to these leather boots. I mean, maybe we just do a double reserve and like guarantee that we're going to be getting some upgrades in the next round. So I think that that's okay. Bring an upgrade back over to our big item. I'm sure there's a more optimal way to go about these gemstones, but that's at least what makes sense to me, in that, you know, just put the bigger ones. It's usually the worst just in your backpack, right? Having the cleanse a debuff in the backpack isn't that bad, but it takes like 8 seconds to do. But typically the ones in the backpack are the worst ones. And so I guess we'll do it that way. I know you're supposed to come out and just actually build towards specific gems, but we are just kind of limited in what we actually have here. Can't just be like, oh yeah, I want, 3 perfect topazes. That's just not the way it goes. This dude's doing something similar. He's got the double axe. He's got the brass knuckles. He doesn't have any gems, though. It's like he's got a very big battle rage heavy comp. If we could survive through the rage, we might be able to take it down. We did. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, just all kinds of stuff. So we don't want the divine potion anymore, right? We'll just pick up the heroic potion at this stage of the game. Right, there's only 2 rounds left. We could look to just sell our box of riches, right? I mean, generating level 1 gemstones at this stage of the game doesn't really do anything. And so we can be a little bit more aggressive in how we roll through these final rounds, knowing that we can sell those things off. I'm gonna come up here. We picked up another elephant. That's a stun. We'll get it into the forging hammer. Gonna upgrade the gloves of haste for the last round of the battle. We did find some more topaz out here to potentially upgrade the busted blade, although I don't think it's actually going to get there. Yeah, let's just sell the box of riches. I don't really want the boots, but it's better than nothing. So let's sell off these. Oh, we do have 6. Okay. Perfect. Oh, man, no. I think this is a thing. We can shift everything over 1. And then... Oh, we can't double upgrade this round. I was like, we can put the boots over here by the forging hammer and get those upgraded as well. I guess you can't double up. Alright, so what's left? Our sword is completely full. That's neat. Upgrade the amethyst. Alright. I guess that's a thing. That looks decent enough, right? Okay. I think we're ready for battle.
Yeah.
Another one. Got the double axe, loads of dragon items. It's got this just the same guy. It might be the same guy. Just nailed a huge crit on him. Boom. I saw we hit the 1 crit to take him down to like half health, and then we hit for 255 right there at the end as well. Good stuff. Didn't use up the heroic potions there either. All right, we got a bag. We can see how much. Let's see how much rearranging we have to do as we enter this final round here. I know, like, I want to make a couple of these really quick upgrades. Right, we're gonna want the dragon's claws down at the bottom. I want to get rid of, or I want to get the attack speed bag down here as well. Now we can put a dagger on the attack speed in here. Yes, we can get the dagger up in the battle rage space. Okay, so that seems like a reasonable starting point. Didn't have to spend too much time with the bag rearranging there. Otherwise, let's see how we want this to pop off. I mean, I guess we can pick up the helmet. It's a reasonable enough thing to just be taking into this final battle. The armors, I don't, or the bag space, I don't think we need. Right, where are we at? So let's just roll past that. Maybe something interesting will turn up. And then reasonable enough place to pick up the corrupted crystal. That can be something that we use as our finisher here. And so let's get rid of whatever small gems we can. Probably rather get rid of a 2 gold gem. Well, they're going to be too tough to come across. I was going to say, it's like we don't want to just completely give up on all of our sockets. I don't know. I wanted to get the crystal to just put on the busted blade, but feels kind of sketchy giving up 2 separate sockets to do it. I guess we picked up 1 at the end of the day. All right, And there's probably a rearrange in here to get better use out of these dragon's claws, attaching them onto the daggers. Like this dagger down here at the bottom is probably better served getting the double stack from the dragon's claws, but I'm not gonna min max that hard. I'm not gonna make you sit through 5 minutes of rearranging just just for this one last battle. All right, up against the cards. Saw a big 150 turn up. Oh, he resisted our crit, but then we got a 191 in at the end. GG, well played. Not a bad set of battles. Took it all the way to the end. And so I feel like that was a nice little build. You know, that's a nice pivot that we made. It had a really bad early start, in my opinion, to where the sales weren't good. The economy items weren't that great, and we didn't find any of the true build-around stuff, right? We weren't finding any daggers. We weren't finding any armors. And so it was a real struggle. And then being like, okay, well, I guess we'll take the hammer and push down that route, and then no daggers turning up, and like just having to really navigate the entirety of the early game there. Felt like that was going to be a very mid game, right? I felt like in the early game, if we got out of that at like +0 MMR, right? If we didn't lose MMR on that run, I felt like that was going to be good. And so to convert that into a full run, a full ender, the entire bag, if you will, feels pretty good to me, and so I was happy with how that panned out. So hopefully that gives you a bit of insight into some of these build patterns. Again, I'm not super well versed into backpack battles, and so seeing these kind of angles and how these things work isn't something that I'm fully fluent in, but I have played a ton of auto battlers in my life, and I am kind of able to piece together how these builds can look and how you can transition from an early game with some health regen and some economy into a mid game that gives you options to your late game build, and then when a piece of that mid game doesn't come together, really snatching that final late game and then assembling the parts that make a good build turn into a great one. And I think we hit on a lot of the hits just in kind of the general strategy of, we had the gem thing, so we're going towards sockets. We know the sockets, we want either the double axe or the big sword. Finally the big sword turned up, so we could go after that. Then we started picking up all of these little stun enhancements, and so we wanted to put all the stun things on the daggers and then kind of tie it all together with those yellow potions. And so I feel like that was a fairly good build across the board. Nonetheless, good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So if everyone enjoyed the video, hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and you had a good time watching. This is Busted We. Thank you for being here.